Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to send all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakadash, Barak, Tham. This is your brother, Gabash, coming at you with another lesson. And today I want to talk about King David, man, and how he was a mighty man. Okay, how he was a mighty man. Okay, now when you look up that word mighty, which we can do right now. Okay. Let's look up that word mighty and see what it means. Oops. M-I-G-H-T-Y. Mighty. Okay. It means possessing great or impressive power or strength, especially on account of size. Okay. All right. Now let's go into some scriptures here. Okay. Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel 17, 34 through 36. Okay. Now remember this definition of mighty: possessing great and impressive power or strength, especially on account of size. Okay. Now, while I'm here, as a matter of fact, let's look up warrior, because King David was also a warrior, man. Okay, definition of warrior. Okay, especially in former times, a brave or experienced soldier or fighter. Okay. All right. Okay, so remember those definitions: warrior and mighty. Warrior and mighty. Okay. And that's what King David was, man. He was a mighty warrior. Okay. All right, let's go back to the blue letter. Okay. Now let's start at let's start at verse let's start at 17. Come on. Okay. 1 Samuel 17, starting at verse 34. Okay. And well, I know here he's called David, but I'm so used to saying King David. And David said unto Saul, thy servant has kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's go to let's go to 32. As a matter of fact, yeah, let's go to 32. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 32. And David said unto Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go fight with the Philistines. So as you can see, we'll see King David had that warrior spirit even when he was a shepherd. You know, he had that fiery spirit about him. Okay. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against the Philistine to fight with him, but thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And when you go back up, it's talking about let me see, it's talking about Goliath, the giant. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me start. I don't want to go too far up. Let me see, so you can know who this giant is. Okay, let's start at verse 4. 1 Samuel 17, starting at verse 4. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits of span. Okay. And he had a helmet of brass upon his head, and was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. Okay, so he was a mighty man. That was a giant, man. That was a big guy, Goliath. Okay, but when you go down to I think it's 34. Let me see. I think it's, yeah, when you go down to 34, verse 34, let me see if I can find it. It says, um, let me see. No, let's start at 33. Let's start at 33. And Saul said to David, Thou art not able to go up against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. So King Saul didn't think uh that David could go against this man of war. Okay, but let's read down. And David said unto Saul, Thy servant has kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. So a shepherd, a shepherd, hey, I mean, well, just David here, but he wasn't playing with his sheep, man. He protected his sheep, and that's how Yahweh Shah does us. You know, these wolves and sheep clothing may come to the flock and snatch us and snare us and try to drag us back into the world, but Yahweh Shai, he'll come and save us, man. You know, it reminds me of Yahweh Shai. Okay, um, and it says, "Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear." Wow. So King David slew slew a lion and a bear. And a lion ain't nothing to play with, y'all. If you've seen a lion in person, those are some big animals, especially a male lion. And he said, I went after him and smote him and delivered it out and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard. So he was fighting a male lion, man. And it says, and smote him and slew him. So King David smote the lion, killed the lion with his, you know, I don't know if he had a staff or did it with his bare hands, but anyway, put it this way: King David didn't have a gun. He didn't have a gun, you know. So that's a magnificent feat right there, you know. One man smoting a lion, oh, Salakia, by himself. So he definitely was a mighty man. Let's go to verse 36. Um, Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be one as them, seeing he hath defiled the armies of the living power. David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine. And Saul said to David, Go, and the Lord will be with thee. So King David knew that the Lord was with him when he was dealing with that lion and also dealing with that bear. And also King David was faithful that the Most High was going to deliver him in that battle between that Goliath and him, King David. Okay. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail, and David girded his sword upon his armor. He essayed to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. Okay, so David didn't really want uh, all that, the armor and stuff like that. Oh, excuse me, Salaki brothers. Yeah, David didn't want all that stuff on him. Okay, and the Philistine came on and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. Okay, now when you go back up, it says how um let me see. Okay, when you go back up to 37, it says the Lord delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, and he will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine. Okay, so also when David King, well, I'm just gonna call him King David, um, combined his faith with his faith with his kind of like mighty madness, I guess you would say, his warrior mentality, and he put that together with his faith in Yahweh. That was a deadly combination right there, man. You know, deadly combination. Okay. Um, let's go to verse 40. And he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook and put them in the shepherd's bag which he had, even in scrap. And his sling was in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. So he was getting ready to put that Goliath dude on the ground, man. He was ready. King David was ready. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was a youth, for he was but a youth, a ruddy, and of the fair continuance. And the Philistine said unto David, I am a dog, that thou comest to me with staves. And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, I will give thee thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and the beasts of the field. Okay, now listen to what King David said. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and a spear, and with a spear, and with shield. But I come in the name of the Lord of hosts, of Yahweh, of the armies of Israel, whom hast defied. So even though the giant Goliath had all this armor and this weaponry and stuff like that, but King David came in the name of Yahweh, man. And when you come in the name of Yahweh, man, you get, you obtain some kind of spiritual power, man. And that's what King David had, man. He had he combined that faith with that mighty man mentality that he had, that natural mighty man mentality that he had, which gave him, which Yahweh allowed him to put down Goliath. Okay. All right. I didn't get to that part yet, but let's keep reading. This day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcass of the host to the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. Okay, let's keep going. And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with the sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into your and he will give you into our hands. Okay, and it came to pass when the Philistine arose, he came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hastened and ran and when hold on, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. Okay, and David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon the face of the earth. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there, man. As you can see, King David was a mighty man. You know, he didn't let the size of that giant phase him. You know, he did what he had to do. The Most High put the spirit in him to do it, and he did it. He carried it out. You know, and that's how we got to be, Yakum. We got to be mighty man. The Most High gives us something to do, puts the spirit in us for something to do. You know, hey, we got to go out and do it, man. You know. But anyway, this is your brother, Kabosh, coming at you with another lesson. And Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Shalom.